Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about the complexity of post-processing and that post-processing can really make or break a sound. To show you that, we're going to start with just simply some atonal noise in Serum, nothing else, and we're going to shape a sound out of just noise in Serum. I'm going to include the patch in the description below, so if you would like to get it, you can grab it as well. Before we get into the video, though, I would like to say thank you because we hit 300 subscribers, that is. So that's really cool. So I appreciate you guys, and if you guys could help me, as always, leave a like on the video, and if you do enjoy the content, feel free to subscribe, as it does help me grow, as you can see. I truly appreciate it. So, with that being said, let's get in the video. Before we get into the video, though, I do have one announcement I want to make, and that is the boys got a live show coming up. So, to anyone that lives in Minneapolis or would love to come see me live in Minneapolis, I am playing Skyway Theater for a pretty big show. That's right, Riotin and Must Die's Hyper Die Tour that is coming to Skyway in Minneapolis September 11th. So, if you would like to see me live, that's where I'll be. I'll be bringing a whole new stage presence, new visuals, new music, the full 9 yards. Along with that, if anyone comes specifically to see me, I will have some specific stickers and some merch, like sticker merch, available for free if you guys just come up to me and let me know. Yeah, so if you guys are interested, come through. Would love to see you, and hopefully you have a good time. So that's enough of me ranting. Let's get into it. Switch. So we're in the DAW here. I really just made this a really simple loop. It's literally just Moonboy can clap loop, my own top 4-bar loop, and then this bass. So, like we said earlier, I want to show you how easy it is to actually, or not easy, but how powerful post-processing can be. So you can shape a sound literally out of whatever you want. And for instance, show you, I'm just using this. We'll take off all the filters, sub, and the effects here, and you can listen to it. I do have some automation with some stuff, so that might change it, but for the most part, it sounds like this. Not that exciting. So, if you want to check out this patch, like I said, it's down below. I'm not going to go over every little number on the patch. You can kind of figure that out on your own. I'll explain how I made the patch for you so it makes sense, but I'm not going to go into every little detail because I feel like you need to. So first off, let's start with sub. Pretty simple. It's a sub. Direct out, so it's not impacting the sound, because I really just want to show you that we could mess with just the noise, which is J60 in here, by the way. It's in your analog. So everyone has this. No oscillators. And the filter is high notch because, you know, dubstep, I'm a big fan of it. So just putting that on alone. Pretty simple, right? Next, I'm going to add a little bit of stereo. By the way, in this patch, I did pull it down to pretty much mono coming out. So you can tweak that if you want a little more. The stereo of the effects, I believe, are going to sterilize it enough. That's why. So first, I used a hyper, and what I pretty much used it to do is for voicing. So, you know, if you have your oscillators and you do your detuning, you know, that's pretty much what we're doing here. No dimension, even though we probably could just add a hair if we wanted to. So now, with that, we have... Okay, next we're on distortion, diode, about 60%, and mix. That's just gonna make it loud, which is really cool. Next is a phaser, which I thought added some really cool tonality, and I made it go from 50% to 100% wet as the LFO went up. I think it added some cool valley texture. Next is going to be EQ, adding in that low mids, and it's probably going to highlight a vowel region as it moves up. Next, after that, I added a filter, and this is just a phaser. I really like phasers, combs, reverb filter. Yeah, those are really good ones to add for texture, and this one's just going to add a new context. So here you go. You could even have it like mix like that. It does add some clicking, so that's weird. Anyways, next, or the final thing that I add on this one is going to be the compressor, and obviously it's just acting as an OTT to compress everything together. I really like either putting compressor at the very end or the very beginning of a chain, depending on how you want to use it. It's just, if you put it at the end, all the effects and everything you're pulling out through your filtering is going to be squashed and pulled back in. So without it, with it, cool. Now, you may be thinking, okay, that's pretty simple. Now the fun stuff happens, which is macros. And I think macros are really huge, and I'll show you first how much I'm using different macros here. It kind of looks overwhelming, but I literally just threw this together in like 5 minutes, so it's pretty simple. So let's start with these. Fast is actually going to be, I'll change it to LFO rate since you guys are downloading it. LFO rate, so it's all the way to half up to an eighth. So if we go, pretty self-explanatory, right? Tone is going to be routed to, I believe, the EQ, seeing that it has a little peak there. The further you push it, the more tone you're going to get. So that changes throughout. Also, pitch is going to be the actual pitch of the J60. So not just like the formants and stuff that are changing through a filter, but like the actual pitch itself. Once again, this is slight variation. So here's this. And it just adds a certain timbre. Last but not least, one thing that I think is the most underrated thing in Serum, is the fact that people don't use macro knobs or LFOs on other LFOs to affect the LFOs. Yeah, LFO cube, baby. No, but what I mean is, like, I route this to certain points. You can either affect the X or Y axis, for example. You slide it over. Usually asks, X or Y. And you can mess with it. So for example, the way I have it is to make it more sustained. So I'm pulling up that peak and I'm extending this out. So this is without it and then with it, which is really cool for changing up your pattern. If you're really struggling with pattern change-ups, adding this style of flavor, and you can do this on different LFOs, so it gradually does it. But I like to put it on a knob just so I can control exactly where it's going, unless I find a good rhythm. So all these together, I'll show you, and I'll keep the patch up, and I'll let it go through twice. But you can just kind of look at all the automation that's going on here. So. Cool. So yeah. Anyways. It's a very simple patch, and it's a very simple point to prove that you can start with something very atonal and get some tonalities out of it. This is still obviously like a bro step style bass because, that's what I like. So if, take it as what you want. You can apply this to any, really anything. I've made growls from just this, a simple sine wave. And without automating like the sine wave, like I'll just filter it differently. It's actually a trick I learned from watching one of the company's videos a while back. But this one's a little separate. I want to show you guys exactly in the DAW. And as far as post-processing goes, I literally just have a saturator and EQ and just killing out the low mids for the sake of muddiness in the video, especially if you're listening on your phone or something. And it's just going to kind of sound groggy. So I just pulled them out. Like I said, this patch will be available down in the description below. I hope you did learn something, and if you are enjoying the content, remember to hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe. Next week, I have a how-to DJ video coming out for you guys that's going to explain the basics of, where you need to look and start to even start that process, all the way up to like set theory and all that stuff and playing your time slots. So if you are ready for that one, let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you learned something today. Anyways, have a great rest of your day. Take care. And I'll see you in the next video. Switch.